people think about what video games teach people, most people think they teach you how to run, jump, shoot. Some people, such as Senator Clinton and Jack Thompson, believe they teach people how to kill others. They call them murder simulators. But the truth is, these people don't really understand games, probably because they aren't educated enough about games in general to make a judgment call about what video games teach. I doubt they even know that books like Rolf Koster's A Theory of Fun even exist. So let me give it to you straight, as a person who's been playing video games for about 20 years. Video games primarily teach pattern recognition, spatial reasoning, hand-eye coordination, and moral judgment. See, most all games revolve around a calculation of odds. They train us to recognize patterns so that we can predict events before they take place. For example, if you see a car beginning drifting into your lane while you're driving, you should know the chances are really good he's going to try to pull right in front of you without any other warning such as his turn signals. If you fail to recognize a pattern his car has made, you will continue to accelerate and you will crash into the idiot. But if your ability to calculate odds is well developed, you will slow down and avoid collision. Remember, most drivers who collide say they didn't see the other person. That means they failed to recognize the pattern because their brain was not properly prepared to spot it. Video games develop the area of the brain responsible for predicting events in a way very few other activities do, because failing to spot the patterns the first few times in the game does not get you killed in real life. You have many opportunities to keep trying until you get it right. And these developments help you in all incidents requiring calculation of events, not just the ones which take place inside the video game. The brain of a gamer is better able to process patterns and spit out the possible scenarios than the brains of people who do not stimulate their brains every day with such exercises. That's just common sense. I mean, just look at this gameplay. The ability to memorize routes based off visual cues is worthy of praise in its own right. But the hand-eye coordination required to maneuver the character through the obstacle course of the game is the same required for any surgical doctor, pianist, or painter. The mother who nags her kid for playing Super Mario all day is essentially telling her kid to not develop dexterity that could be applicable in jobs he might someday need to acquire, like being a plastic surgeon or crane operator. This said, games aren't just about using our mental skills to plot out events or respond to stimuli quicker. They can also teach arithmetic in ways no high school math teacher ever will. Take the gameplay from a typical RPG, for example. Now, pay attention to the numbers which are displayed here and here. These numbers here are the life and magic points of the player. Each special skill deducts magic points, so the player has a limited number of times they can use their special attacks. The life points are different. When they reach 0, the player loses the game. So, in order to win this game, the player must engage in battles by keeping their life points above 0, while reducing those of their enemies to 0. This is accomplished by attacking the monsters to subtract their points, while adding more life points to the player using assets such as items and skills. The player might also use skills to multiply the amount of damage they deal to monsters, while dividing the amount of damage their own characters receive. Notice all the math terms I'm using here: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and that's because these battles are nothing more than a series of math problems put into a package which appeals to the average teenager. This isn't just a game about killing monsters, it's a game about math. The player must have a degree of math mastery in order to play. If they don't at least understand basic arithmetic, they won't get past the first minute of gameplay. And as these games tend to go, the math problems that the players encounter tend to become steadily more complex as the hours of gameplay escalate. Yeah, you heard right. Hours of math problems. These games get people to do math problem after math problem because the exercises are put into a format which both engages and rewards the player. By completing the math problems, they defeat the monsters, save the princess, and win the game. Now, I know I've only shown some of these games, but there is literally thousands of RPG games, just like this one, played by gamers every day. There is actually more RPGs than there is first-person shooter games like Doom, Grand Theft Auto. The second best-selling game on the PlayStation was Final Fantasy VII, regarded by many as the best RPG game ever created. Games like Grand Theft Auto, while still popular and good games, do not make up the majority of the market share, and that is a fact. And here's a little tidbit: the game that sold more copies than Final Fantasy VII was a car racing game. There wasn't even any violence in it.